Wow, such an honor to be here with you. I've been wanting to channel beautiful Buddha, founder of Buddhism, and his beauty for a long time. But I knew that every time I would look into if it was time to channel him, he would say, hold on, wait a minute. So we waited a minute for 7 years until we are finally here. Wow, such a joy to be here with you. Truly the biggest honor for myself to be channeling Buddha. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I am Rising Phoenix Aurora. I am a galactic historian. I'm an author. I am known as a spiritual revolutionist. I am also the author to Galactic Soul History of the Universe, which you can find under Amazon, under also Amazon and Barnes and Noble. You can find it in paperback, actually, in hardcover. Book 2, book 1 tells the history of the universe. So go figure that out. It's quite incredible to find out that. And so go purchase that and go to my workshops, my retreats. Next retreat is in Sedona, August 10, and we'll be there also at the Grand Canyon for the A.U.R.A practitioners reunion. And we will also have a online workshop for A.U.R.A hypnosis, past life regression, entity removal, and raw Reiki entity removal as well. This will be April 15. That workshop last day to sign up, I believe, is April 8th. So go sign up. I love to meet you there. If you can't meet us in person, come join me live for 5 days and come bask in the love that these sacred teachings are taught to you about how to take your power back and become your own self-healer. And yeah, so that's beautiful. And then go find if you want to find more practitioners, A.U.R.A practitioners and raw Reiki practitioners around the world, you could go to aurapractitioners.com. And yeah, it's just so incredible. Thank you for being here. We got Patreon to support this video and all that I do. As you know, I work diligently and beautifully every day to be here for you guys. And every couple of days we're posting videos. So if you want to support that and give a thanks for that, you go to Patreon just for $4 a month. Otherwise, we're channeling Abraham Lincoln Part 2. So I'd love to see you there to listen to his beauty as well. He is another being that will move you to tears. But let's get started. All right, Gina, say hi, and then we're going to get going.
Hi everyone, I'm Gina. I'm so excited today. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you can feel that energy from Buddha, but there's so many beautiful things in his energy, as well as all the different things that are changing across the earth. You can feel that too. You can find others like myself, as far as aura practitioners, raw practitioners, those who have taken aura's courses at aurapractitioners.com. So if you find out that you want to do a session with somebody, you can see who you might that you might connect with, and you can do classes and courses there. And make sure you add your questions, because all those questions get answered by Buddha, and it's so beautiful because then you're part of it as well. You're part of today as well. So thank you.
Yes. So let's go. Come on, Buddha. Wow. His official name was Siddhartha Gautama, though. But yes, we'll just go by Buddha. He says Buddha is just fine because it means enlightenment, right? So a couple things before I get started. I knew that we're about to start channeling him. I am surrounded by the most beautiful source of light. And I also knew that when he chose to channel, that it was going to be for a very big reason. Very big. So the last total eclipse was, I believe, 1800s. So haters and trolls, don't even bother. I am too sovereign. Keep your entities to yourself. It'll be yours to transmute. You hit dislike, that'll be your karma, not mine. So I am only going to embody this video in source of light, and you're going to feel his love and his beauty. And for myself, I embody a lot of love. So this is very beautiful to be able to embody and channel, just like when I channel Yeshua or Mother Mary, to be able to channel this infinite love that sometimes keeps me up at night, and then I write, right? I write different quotes. So because of how much I love for humanity, how much love I feel, infinite love for humanity. So this is such an honor to be able to vibrate out that love without having to restrain or hold back. So that's what we're gonna be doing that today. We're gonna be bridging in his infinite love through my infinite love and heart, so that you can feel that love and be basked and engulfed and embraced in love. Thank you to the beautiful people who are here already watching, 94 of you. Wow, thank you. So this is going to be our new home for Rumble, for the live videos every Friday, 1 p.m. And before I forget, I'm not going to be here the next 2 weeks, because the next week I'm going to channel Abraham Lincoln under Patreon. And the following week, I'm going to be hosting that online workshop I was talking about, how to step out of the inverted matrix into our most organic timeline. So I'll see you in 3 weeks then, but I'll keep posting videos along the way. Okay, thank you. Let's get started. Okay, write your questions. Here we go. I realize this. One of the other things I realize is that up until now, I would never, every time I'm going to channel someone, I don't research them till I'm meant to. And I just looked quickly last night to his teachings, and I realized that in in many forms, us light warriors who are standing in our hearts, we are literally practicing this spirituality, Buddhism. And even what's embodied within our Rising Phoenix Mystery School, it is literally Buddhism. And I had no idea that the same concepts, that this is not a religion, it's basically just a way to be, the way to live, was very much part of my existence and all that I am all the time. So wow, that was such a beautiful surprise for me, and I wanted to share that with you guys. All right, here we go. Ooh. It's interesting. So I already have my 3 flames activated in my heart. There's 3 flames. There's a center flame, a left and right flame. I am feeling them activate in my back right now. So we often forget about our back. And when I do yoga, and if you ever join us to retreat, I lead us through the yoga, and I teach you how to open up your heart space in both your front and back. And we tend to forget about our back and our senses in the back. So I'm literally feeling his energy amplify my back heart chakras. Wow. Okay. Because in so many forms, when we have our eyes closed, we could read a lot when we have our eyes closed and our back, because at that point you're picking up the senses through your back. Okay. All right. There's a little teaching. All right, here we go. Got my A.U.R.A crystal here. Some very special pearls and my rose quartz. Sound is good. Everything's good, right? Here we go. Again, in case you're new to us, what I'm doing right now is I'm placing myself in the theta brainwave, which is the in-between of the spiritual realm and the earthly realm. So right in between that brainwave, embodied by source of light, only source of light is allowed within this space. I am also surrounded by rings and rings of purification of source celestial flames all around me as well. Nothing gets through unless it is source of light, purification flames. And today I'm going to be seeing through the eyes of Siddhartha Gautama Buddha. Going back in time now. He's going to show me his path of enlightenment and how to embody infinite love, he says. Greetings, I am Siddhartha Gautama, Siddhartha Gautama, Siddhartha Gautama. Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. Wow. Today I have chosen to speak to you from the highest point of one of the Himalayan mountains in Tibet. This is the point where I will be speaking to you from, but also though going through the memories of my expansion and growth, experience and enlightenment. As you know, Buddha represents an enlightenment, the state of an enlightenment, of nirvana. So my goal is to help you achieve in the highest forms in your time and space of your own nirvana. And how the goal and the key is inwards, the heart. Everyone vibrates to their own heartbeat, to their own beat of the drum, to their own flame. We will use this example as A.U.R.A was using this example to teach the Twin Flame course. And in this course, she explained how the flames within a flame, when you watch a flame, whether it's a fireplace, a fire pit, a candle, or more of the bigger fires, you will see, say you're watching a fire pit outside, you have a fire lit, you will notice how there is one big flame, and this flame has multitude flames vibrating, moving to their own frequency and dance to their own heartbeat. So my biggest teachings to you is all that you have been learning really through these sacred teachings of Rising Phoenix, A.U.R.A, because we have told you over and over, I love you, honor you, and respect you. Which means in many forms, namaste in that perspective, but then also namaste has been very inverted, used a lot through inversions at this point. Not many people really mean the meaning behind namaste, but know that this means I love you, honor you, and respect you. I love you because I see the beauty in the heart that you are, because all of us were created from the love, the infinite love of Divine Mother and Father Source. That's all we are, is love. It is the breath, the blood, the cells, everything that activates within us, down to every molecule of us, every cell, every atom, everything that makes up to us. First vibrates to love, then love multiplies and creates an embryo that creates a baby, an infant, creates you as you continue to grow. And that is why I love you. And I honor you. I honor you because just as that flame that I explained, I honor your choices, even if some of the choices perhaps are not sometimes in the highest love. I still honor your choices because you are sovereign, you are free. And the sacredness of that I will be teaching you today is how to embody sovereignty and to honor all and never overstep boundaries. Boundaries are sacred. And that is really what we mean when we say honor, because you never overstep boundaries. Never. To overstep boundaries, to walk among like you are a God, a healer to all healers, then that means that you are looking at yourself in worship, in need to siphon parasitically, use others' energies. So what we will teach you today is how to embody your inner self, your inner God source, your inner self healer, and how unique you are and beautiful, and the way we honor you as the Christ consciousness and the Venusian energy that will be channeled through today, and how each flame vibrates to its own song, to their own song. And that is the ways that we honor you. The love that you feel within me is the love that is waiting to unleash within you. What are you waiting for? Stop holding back. Unleash that love. Let everyone feel that love, down to your loved ones, down to the trees, down to your plants, down to your animal companions, your friends and family. Stop holding back. Be you. Honor yourself in all forms. And I could go on and on about honor. We'll move on to respect. I respect you because of the honor that I have in you, in the way that I respect your boundaries and never overstepping. I respect you because that is the ultimate beauty, to respecting who you are and all incarnations that you are, all decisions that you are, all thought forms that you are. I respect you in bountiful ways that are infinite, glorious, beloved, expansive. I respect you in all forms. I love you. I respect you. I love you. I honor you. Your beauty. You are beautiful. These were the core of Buddhism, the core of Buddha and Buddhism. These were the enlightenment path, the enlightenment of some of the major foundations that are still very much there in the present day Buddhism. And I want to say clearly, the Dalai Lama, that Tibetan Buddhism is not something that I align with, specifically that line, because he is a pedo, as you might have already discovered, and is involved in human trafficking. So let's minus that, let's delete that, let's remove that from the love that I speak of the Buddhism. Not a religion. It is just a form to be, a way to be, a choice to be, the love to be. So we'll remove that. Let's clear that now. And let's just speak of the Buddhism that I embodied, the path of enlightenment, of nirvana that I echoed out and taught others. The greatest teachers that you will meet are the teachers that will never overstep or tell you what to do or who you are to be, what choices you make. These are the greatest teachers, the ones that only give you the seeds, the little seeds, that plant the little seeds that might give you a direction, that might tell you, that will teach you, to guide you, that what feels right in your heart. How do you feel about a decision that you're going to make. How do you feel? How does that feel for you in your heart? The greatest teachers will never tell you what to do, but only guide you with love and hold space for you, hold love for you, no matter what choices you're making. And hold the love and will vibrate with waves of love at you. Heartbeats, 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 connecting to crystalline energy, crystalline hearts, only love, only hearts. That is all. I hold the space for love. I hold the space for humanity, for collective, for animal life, for plant life, for children, for humankind. I hold love for you no matter what. I hold love for you no matter what. I hold love for you no matter what. That is this true state of enlightenment, of nirvana. Wow. Looking at your time and space is the journeys and the triumphs and the ways that you have climbed those mountains, as I have climbed this mountain to be here with you in this time and space. Understanding the points of view, we will let them sing with. They agree with us. The animal companions, the canines, their bark could be a hindrance and annoyance to other people, but that's not the way I see it as Buddha. I see it as honors, as equalness to our speech. See, this is how you are to view humanity, even down to the bark of a dog. That should be honored. What are they speaking? What are they doing? What are they transmuting? What are they changing? What are they alerting you to? There's no hindrance and annoyance to a dog bark. There's only love echoing out. That is the way that they speak, just as you speak through your language. So let those dragons roar. I will begin with my childhood. Going back to my childhood now, back to the seeding of my childhood. We'll have Zen come get the puppy down here, so it won't be as loud. Okay. Ooh. So there is much, say, that has been forgotten, that is also even deception when you look up forms of Buddha or Buddhism. There is some, but for the most, the core has remained. In order to birth forth an enlightened being, The womb of my mother needed to be prepared for I to be born. I was conceived on a new moon and birthed in a full moon. Now, when Aurora was reading articles written by Nikola Tesla, she noticed that the time frame seemed off about Buddhism, because when she read Nikola Tesla, he mentioned Buddhism as if it was something that was current in the time and space. Now there has been other forms, and though, as you know, your Earth's history has really been altered and changed, what I will tell you is that I was here a lot closer than you realize. And I'm going to say about 200, even 300 years before Nikola Tesla. And I lived longer than 88 years. I lived actually a couple hundred years. So we were speaking about that. Nikola Tesla spoke about Buddhism like he could have dinner with me, perhaps one night, where we would only eat really, not much. As by the time of my ascension, I was definitely a breatharian and really lived my entire my lifetime in veganism. But yes, going back to this enlightenment time, I was created within my mother's womb as a seed of source, seed of Christ consciousness, and even down to the understanding, just like Yeshua, we have our free will, we have our experiences to understand. We also understand even before we're born, we've given ourselves a organic blueprint of what our path will be like and how the ways that we will reach the masses, whether we choose to walk the path or not. All this was seeded and alchemized, activated light codes within source of light into my DNA, my blueprint. And though we knew that operating in the free willed expression, that understanding that I would have a choice whether I would want to, in my choices, whether I truly did want to, say, achieve nirvana, awaken in my life. It is all a test. Life is a test of love. Every day you're tested. Will you stay in your heart? And every test, which is part of the Buddhism, where they've inverted this form where supposedly it says that through the world of, say, pain, you experience enlightenment, not in a negative way, but in a form where you are choosing every day to grow and expand out from choices that might present themselves that seem like they are love or they seem really, really good. But there are choices where, what is this a heart choice? Is this a heart decision? Is this a heart path? So we knew that as seeding this beautiful soul as I Buddha into my mother's womb, that I would have those choices. Could I achieve the path of enlightenment, of being able to see and sense beyond the matrix, understanding that we were in a matrix simulation, and to walk my most organic timeline and crystalline formation in my DNA? We did not know that. And so I lived every day, and the universe watched in suspense, the multiverse, looking at my path and my choices, and how, say, perhaps every choice of decision, every obstacle that came from, say, pain as you would know it, how I would then transform out, rebirthed and renewed from that choice of pain. It's not that you have to choose pain as perhaps is being depicted right now to enlighten it. It's just that challenges in your now time and space third dimension can be challenges, just as the word explains, and you can choose to make it into something that is victimizing, something that holds you back and densifies you, or you can choose to rise from it and then alchemize that into enlightenment or nirvana. That nirvana is Zen, that Zen feeling, the Zen feeling that you feel within your heart, your embodiment, your being. So this is what I went through. I also, there was a form of, say, Buddhism. It wasn't quite named Buddhism specifically in that time and space, but through Tibet, through Asia, through even India, some of these names that are, say, different from different past Earth's history, I achieve enlightenment as I learned these different, say, forms of religions, as they call, you can call them now. You call them now. I did not find the heart alignment through these different regulations, and it seemed these religions man-made, man-controlled, man heart, not heart, mind, egoic formations that my heart did not align to. So going back to my childhood, as that is accurate, I was a prince. I am a prince, and I was born from a lineage of royalty, from different clans, as you would call them, different families of the Asian culture. And water. Really, say, obscured in the forms that directly my father then would keep me isolated from the world, from the earth. In his form, he perhaps thought that he was doing the right thing. And every choice, though, it did bring me to the point of achieving the enlightenment the way that they kept me say. It felt very kind of in a cell, in a, not being able to come out from the palace walls and go explore into the earth for my 30-something years. And then they also betrothed me with my wife, and we had a child. But see, all these choices that I'm speaking of were not choices that I made. These were choices. So this is the biggest lesson to my life as Buddha, even before I say became the enlightened Buddha, was that all prior my 30-something years, these were choices that were made for me, that were that I had never taken in sovereignty, that made for myself, that allowed for my heart to guide and make these decisions. So much of what I will teach you today is that it is you who makes the decisions. It is you who creates your reality. It's you who creates your experience. It is you who are your self-healer. You are your inner guru. You are your own ascended master. You are your own God source. Always in love, though, because you get confused when you start operating in source, and then you forget that source comes with love, light, source of light. When you start operating in source of light, you get confused in the 3D, in the third dimension, that it becomes egoic and it becomes too much intelligence, and then you forget to unify the heart space and the higher hearts, the back heart chakras, source of light through your beingness. So number one teaching that I can teach you is all lies within you, all healing potentials, all intuition, all path, all choices lie within you. No one can make this choice for you. Only you can reach a state of, say, theta brainwave, as we're speaking here, or theta hypnosis, not theta, so aura hypnosis. So that theta, that's where you reach the in between of speaking to your higher self, and you bridging in the higher self, allowing for that waterfall of higher self to flow through your crown and flow through you. infinitely, and understanding the multidimensionality that you are, the multidimensional being that you are, and truly embodying that, and not getting confused once more with removing the love from every bit of what I've mentioned. All begins from love. In one of the formations within Buddhism is the intent. What is the intent? Number one, you begin with intent and understanding that all thought is action. So what is the intention before you even bring forth the thought? Is the intention behind the thought? Is it love? Is it love? Is it love? Is it love? And if it's not love, then rewind, delete, let's go back and let's find that love, and then restart that thought form, that idea, that creation once more. And then once you have that background of the intention that it is powered and ignited by love, now we can step forward into the world of action. And as you're going through the world of action and creating that thought form, that manifestation, that creation, you also need to think about this thought form, this action of love. How does it affect me, and how does it affect others? Or not affect, how does it influence me, and how does it influence others? And then once you get all like those three major points aligned, and you feel like, okay, let's think about an example of this. Okay, so AuroRa posted, we believe yesterday, but we're forgetting time right now. Yesterday, through her Galactic News, and she posted, the post is about the Dragon Riders Source Purification Flame. Okay, and before she even posted it, or before she does anything, she's being very strongly guided by Source of Light. So she's being guided by, right, the ascended masters, the angels, just like you are, and your higher self, your source of light, specifically source, right? And every time, just like she knew that this was the time and space for her to channel myself in this time of the eclipse coming up. So this time, so ask and you shall receive the answer. Ask and you shall receive the answer. But you have to let go of doubt and the forms that you think that you are not connected, which is just really word to that. To think that you are not connected, it is ludicrous is the best word we can find for that, because how could you not be connected to the source of light that gives you breath, love, the breath, the everything that runs through you, the light, the source of light, the flame within you. You are alive and breathing because you are connected to source of light. So how could you be disconnected from your higher self? That is not possible. Higher self, oversouls are one with source of light. That is not even possible. It's just dogma programming on your consciousness. So understanding that you've always been connected, and understanding that enlightenment exists within you, and it is always about you, but then also how we explained, then also how does that vibrate to others? So, for example, back to the article where I was posting that, and it's a very beautiful poetry of the dragons and Ascension, literally the purification flame of source. Okay, so she would try to post it a month before, a week, and a day, and she couldn't because it wasn't the right time. That could only have been posted yesterday on the 4/4 2024 portal, which was 4/4. It was an 8/8 portal for 4/4 for the month and day, 8, and then 8 for the year, 8/8 portal. Another 8/8 portal time to activate on Earth and to keep igniting that purification flame. You understand? So it's every choice you make, it has to be from the highest source of light. And for that example, that was her, that time and space. And she knew that when she posted it, as we're using that example. One, what is the intention? And that intention would be source, love light, empowering others, bringing dragon forth energy, bringing more roars and thunders and shakes to the earth, right? And one, and then two, how does this communicate within her energy? For example, this article is powerful, it's igniting, it's purifying, it's strength, it's because then from there, how Aura operates, is then from there, when she feels how powerful, divinely powerful something is that she's about to communicate, then it ripples out into, okay, wow, this energy that is felt here, now that is done selflessly, love all attached and unselflessly to the collective, and then whew, out those waves come out. You understand? So your path, everyone's path is different. Perhaps you won't be speaking in a form like this, reaching an audience. Perhaps you would just be speaking as an individual to you and your family, raising your children. And that in itself, that family unit is sacredly important. Maybe you'll just post as you do your social medias. Everyone is love, honored, and respect in that path. Okay. So going back though to my childhood, so I got to the point where I had reached a level where, again, all my choices had been made for me, even down to my wife was beautiful, but she was not my twin flame, say my official twin flame. And I was a prophet all this time of isolated to the palace walls, connecting to the cherry blossoms, the trees, the flowers, and the beauties of the skies of what I could see, really allowed for me to go inwards and find meditation, find the guidance. And little by little, the guidance was being given to me that the density of the oppression and the control of my mother and father within the palace was not a vibratory match for me and the path of my beingness and enlightenment, and what my heart cried, my heart thrived, called for, yearned for, to reach more of the outside world in ways that I was not being allowed to in this space. And I knew that these people, my parents, my wife, my child was beautiful, but my wife and the parents, they were in a matching vibrations to the nirvana that I was searching for, that I was meant to, because it was written in the stars, in the constellations before I was born, that I was meant to achieve. And I had done what I needed to do. I knew that I was being shown, and it was a very hard decision for me, a very selfless decision in many forms. And in your time and space, it could be considered selfish, but it wasn't in my organic blueprint, because either I stay here stuck to these people who will always forever oppress me because they don't want to live in enlightenment. They want to control me. They don't want to evolve. Or do I leave this, pull myself, remove myself from this lower density that is oppressive? And at that point, all cords removed and free and sovereign. So it took time, it took decades, 30, 37, 35 years of age, even 33, especially at the age of 33 is when I started receiving the communications that I was stuck, that I was celled in, that I was kept in a box, and my energy was so expansive and needed to burst out of the boxes and be pushed away. I tried so many ways to reach my parents and I couldn't. I even tried to reach my wife and see if she could understand the concepts that were happening in my consciousness, in my heart, to reach the level. I tried to reach my heart to her heart. And there wasn't that energy and that choosing for her, because it was her free willed expression to not become as enlightened as I was. At the age of 33, I knew that I had to leave all of that behind. That density that was keeping me heavy. As A.U.R.A has explained to you, the toroidal sphere, the Merkabas, the energy around you, and how this toroidal sphere and everything that's around your inner circle, specifically of your family unit, is carried in the toroidal sphere. And I needed to feel free, as this life form, this relationship with these people in my life were not a love, honor, and respect. Were not a freedom. And once more, they were not willing to change and evolve with me, as I tried for 30-something years. And it took time, and I ensured that I taught my son everything that I could, and I explained to him that someday I would not be there in some form, and that I needed him to remember that I loved him no matter what. And that was my hardest choice, was my child in that time and space, leaving him. But then I would also be shown that he would be, of course, provided with his mother. He'd be the next prince. And that someday he would come to me, understand the path of the oppression within the palace and the path of enlightenment, of freedom. So I made that choice to leave the people who I loved the most. But then I also knew that I loved my love for the collective, my love for humanity, my love for the life forms outside this wall was grander. And I needed to leave my footprints behind of this potential of love, of infinite love, of embodiment. And one dawn, I made my choice to leave, knowing that I would see them in the future. That's what I did. I left. Not knowing exactly the path, but understanding that initial goal, because I didn't know how I was going to get to that path, because I was being shown through meditation, through dreams, that there was a time and space where I was tied to no one and I was free, and I was teaching others how to be free like this as well and embody this freedom. And I left in preparation. I explored like as a nomad, you could say, not making the whole earth my home. The whole earth was my home. And I explored as far as I could and as wide as I could. And I met new people, all under I was, say, guised as not the prince. I left that royalty lineage, the ancestral oppression, because that was something else too that held me tied and dense to that. Without enlightenment was the ancestral and the oppression that had been happening through the centuries of earth and the lands where I birthed forth from. And as I let go of that royalty, of being royal blood, because in many forms, you know, the royal blood had servants and had to be taken care of and all of that. I didn't want anyone to be taking care of me. I was my own sovereign being. And I tried, as I told you, I tried over and over, and I would try not to have servants, but again, this was part of the culture, the oppression of that. I viewed the servants as equals to me, and I saw the love in their eyes, and I could not vibrate to that. To me, that was violating them, to have them serve me. That was everything against me, everything against of what I embodied and was to be. So I taught with all these, see, those were difficulties, right? Challenges that I went through, that I had that choice to be led by heart. And how would I allow my heart to lead me out from that and release myself from that, letting go of any ties? I remember that feeling walking out from those palace walls, and I felt like this big weight of the world around on my shoulders, density, oppression, and it's just like this density, this darkness just lift off me. And I was rebirthed the minute I stepped foot out of that palace freely. In secret, of course, because they could not know, because they would not allow me, because I was prisoner, captive in my own, say, palace. So that freedom, releasement, felt most beautifully. The unknown was a joy to me, was a mystery. The mystery of the unknown was what I was to look forward every day to. The meditative state, the connection, and of course, connecting to the trees, to the most biggest trees I could find, the oldest trees, and listening to their wisdom. That is the way that I first began to open up, sitting beneath the trees and listening, through source speaking through the trees, through the branches, through the trunks, through the roots, through the leaves, through the blossoms of the flower trees, listening to their essence. Because I also had to let go of worry and stress of what I had left behind. But the trees would talk to me and tell me, all will make sense in time. It all will make sense. And the choice that you have made is more positive, because they tried, the palace tried, this royal blood tried to tell me that this was the way, that to stay within ancestral beliefs, this was not the way for me. This was not embodied by love. And why the major foundation to Buddhism is the intention. What is the intention? How does this affect myself? Or how does this influence me? And how does this influence others? That is why it's a most founding foundation to that, to live by dharma, by karma, to know that all that is acted upon thought, that everything is energy through the thought form, to be very responsible and cohesively understand in the collective how this energy is operating into a form, into a form of creation. Every day you are on earth, every day is a creation, every day is a mission. And the trees spoke to me, and the trees spoke to me, and the trees spoke to me, because in the time and space, the giant trees were still here. They were still here. And that's that Tartaria time that there was enlightenment, but then again, there was already the beginning infringement occurring. So going back 300, 400 years from the 1900s, so let's say 1600s and on, it was my time of living as Buddha, and it took time to grow and to teach. I've taught people how to live off the life force of the sun, the life force within us and all of creation. And the very same people, when I first started coming out, the very people that thought I was too out there, right? I was advanced, I was ahead of my time. Those same people then came back and saw the light and understood that the way that they've been taught, that the way that they were perhaps jealous, hateful, envied, meant ill intent, thought that they were righteous, invertedly righteous, how then they all came to me years later and realized that what I was teaching, the path of love, this path was the key. How we are our saviors. We are the inner light. The inner guidance is all found within us. We don't need to look at this religious scripture, this rule here, this, what the ancestors told us. We don't need to look at that. We need to look inwards, 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 into our hearts. And my school grew and grew and grew and became an actual way to be. It was beautiful to be around me. People would be inspired by me because every word that I would speak would be a poem. Something like, I am love, we are love, you are love, let's be love. Some different forms that you will hear through some of your histories, like Star Wars. I would be like that, like I am one with the force is within me. Source, the force of love, light. That is the way I would carry and know that every word within me, as it is above, so it is below. These are phrases that I was teaching in my times as Buddha. Now there has been other, say, Buddhas and other, say, through Hitler's history, and through different, say, perhaps bloodlines that reached nirvana. So I only speak of my time and space. I understood that life force existed within everything, even down to the, say, every cherry blossom petal that fell to the ground. I would understand that every single one of those petals connected me to the multiverse. And I would allow for the petal, each petal, to talk to me and share with me those light codes from the tree to me to allow the enlightenment. And I would speak and everyone could feel my love, these waves of heartbeats. Everything that I would speak would only be an intent of love, an intent of love, an intent of love. All of it, only love. And as this love spoke, it would feel like a wave running through you and past you, tickle your heart, your solar plexus. And if you wanted to feel that love, you can make that choice, because I would never force my love on others either, right? Because what I've taught you now is to never overstep boundaries. If you overstep boundaries, these are violations. You cannot just walk around and start opening up people's energies and saying, oh, you have a blockage here. Oh, let me heal this. No, that is ego. No, instead, what you do is that you vibrate to love, and this love echoes out to you. Echoes out, the love echoes out. And as this wave runs through, if the person in front of you chooses to allow this love to be felt, then they shall choose it and feel it. That is their decision. So long as I stayed and walked on earth, I used my love to heal others. I used my love to purify others, but I was the bridge, and they had that choice that yes, I was this nirvana being operating in Zen energy. I was a bridge of source love light. And then it was their choice, this purifying energy of flame, whether they wanted to use that energy to assist themselves, because I held that space like no one else on earth had. Well, perhaps Yeshua, of course, and Mother Mary, but yes, in my time and space, I was holding that space of source of light. And as that echoed out, then you had the choice. Absolutely, I am a conduit, a bridge of source of light. And this energy is running through me. And you have the choice. You remove that past life trauma, remove that entity, remove that infringement, remove that density, remove whatever that was. I will be that, holding that love for you so that you could then use that source of light to heal yourself. I can hold that space for you. That's what I want to teach you, one of the most here on earth, is that no matter where you go, whatever's happening around you. Or I was speaking to, had a recent A.U.R.A session that here in person at her office, and the beautiful being was talking to her how she was at a store and there was a man that had swollen legs, so it looked like perhaps blood clots, and the legs were swollen. And what she did in that moment is that she, in her own way, held space for him in love, and just sending love to him, sending love for him to heal himself. And he, even though dense and illness and disease in his legs, felt that love, even though she said nothing to him. And he said, acknowledged her, looked at her and said, hello, how are you doing? Acknowledged her, because even though perhaps not in an enlightened conscious way, he did not know that she was holding love for him so he can heal himself. If he chose it, right? But his soul recognized it because he turned and looked at her and acknowledged her. Do you understand? So honoring all life force, understanding that even down to the tiniest little bug has life force and has a message and a lesson for you to learn from that, down to the ants that work hard together as a collective, and how they have different branches of ants, right? The warriors, the ones that collect food, the ones that protect, the birthers, the females that birth in the ants, and how together they make the unit, honoring everything. Honor, honor, honor. Which brings us to the eclipse energy that has already begun and will happen April 8th, officially, physically, but energetically it's already happened, as there's no time. Get ready. Nothing to fear, nothing. There's CERN-ish fear going on about CERN technology. Don't even pay that any attention. They have no power. Send source flame and move on without overstepping boundaries, without harming none. I've always been here guiding you. Every video, every transmission, every course, every word that has been shared. I've always been here, holding the love for you and humanity as a collective, as the collective ascension. Don't worry about all that. Don't give it any mind, don't give it any energy, any intention. That will not come to be. The earth, as you know, has shifted into the highest orbit it has been to. And the earth has now shifted. Here we go. To what the earth was before the fall of Tartaria. That's why your orbit has orbited higher. AuroRa, remind AuroRa at the end that she will show you videos. A couple videos of the way that you have raised. It is not that the sky has come down to you. It is that you as this earth here operating has leveled up and now is up here. You have lifted higher. And that is why the clouds, if you were a giant Tartaria and you were 20, 30 feet tall, you could reach those clouds now. Yes, you could touch them. Because you are back in Tartaria. Before the fall of Tartaria, you are back there now collectively. The energy, the crystalline energy, as the trees of life have activated. And this is roaring throughout your earth. Roaring now. As you have heard, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, the roar was felt. The last time an earthquake of this magnitude was in the 1800s. The A.U.R.A practitioners were talking about it on their platform. It is roared. And there's no damage caused, because where there is no damage, then you know that it's the dragons roaring. They roared. And they will continue to roar. You will continue to hear the roar with no, say, lightning sometimes hitting. AuroRa has been talking to you about the roars that are feeling on Earth, down to California, to South Carolina, to Chicago. Let us know if you're feeling this in Asia, in UK, in Canada, in Australia. Let us know if you feel the roars. I see that you are feeling them. And one of the reasons why AuroRa couldn't post that post from the dragons till yesterday was because the dragons are here. What do you think how much of an impact will happen looking at your time and space and looking at my time and space before they cut the bigger trees down, or before even the giant tree of Atlantis fell down and she sprouted herself in the areas of the side of the Atlantic Ocean down to the Gulf of Mexico? Before that fall, we're bringing that Atlantean energies, the Tartarian energies of human evolution, the world fairs, that is being ignited on Earth. And that is why the dragons are roaring, because all over the Earth, the portals, the roots have opened, the portals of the dragons. And that's why the CERN technology is nothing to worry about. They are running and roaring through. They are here. And if you read that article, then you understand how the dragons have been holding the crystalline blueprint when you, as a collective humankind, decided to descend down into the 3D. They've been there waiting, holding space for you, helping you with love and bringing in energy to you. They've been oppressed for too long, but now they're here. The roars are the dragons. They are back. They are back. They are back. And if you think about the raising of orbiting higher to the crystalline dome energy, the orbit has raised, the veil has thinned, and has thinned gigantically. And this is why the 8-8 portal Lion's Gate will be the biggest in Earth's history. The time and space that you want to be in vortex energies to feel the biggest conversion, evolution within you, harmonic conversion, harmonic expansion within you. Understanding with Buddhism, everything is a action to a reaction, a action to reaction, action to reaction. If you are truly love, then why bother? If you are truly love, walk away in love and peace from things that you do not agree to, things that you do not align to. If you are truly love, walk away in peace, turn your back and walk away. To stay and hook and to invert, that is not the, say, Buddhism way, or really just source of light way. That is not the way. Then that is the biggest key to helping you understand that if you are holding on to something and you are being hateful and think that you are being righteous, but still are really feeding a lot of hate to that, then you are being controlled by the Archon. That means that you have allowed the Archon to penetrate your consciousness, and instead of you allowing the heart to guide you, the Archon is guiding your consciousness now. The artificial intelligences. But back to my time and space. As I grew my school, my child did come to me, older, understanding the path. Same for my wife, not in a romantic way. Decided, even my parents, once they saw the enlightened way and that the ways of oppression, the way they kept me, was not the way of freedom, of nirvana, then they understood at that point. And they came to me later in time. And when they came to me, they understood what I was trying to teach them, what they could not get. No matter how many times I vibrated out to them, I talked to them about it, no matter how many times. But finally they got it, because with me not being there with them, it allowed for them to experience what life was without this source of light that I embodied. And then it allowed for them to not, when I was with them, entities, archons, the entities within them would use them to target me. So what I did was the most selfless act to remove myself from the equation. If I removed myself from the equation, then they didn't have to target me as the black sheep like you are, which then allowed for me to hold space from a distance, hold love for them, sending them waves of love so that they could see inwards and discover their inner light, their inner guidance, their inner intuition, inner empowerment, so that they can then finally reach out to me and find me for the path of enlightenment and nirvana. And nirvana within oneself. No one can do this for you. Only you can do this for you. And they came back knowing that love all, no attachments, and they were, say, students. But in then understanding that, even as a teacher, the teacher teaches the student, but the student also teaches the teacher, because they taught me what not to be, what not to do to others in that when I was oppressed. They taught me that, and I decided that I was going to be the opposite of that. So look at the ways that you're being taught, whether in no matter what spirituality, where it's more commercialized or more individualized, whatever form, even outside of spirituality, no matter what industry you're looking at, look and feel before. What is the intention to this? Is this really in assistance for the collective? And then how is this affecting yourself and others? And vibrate to the best that you can be, the best that you can do with the resources that you have within the vibration and frequency that you can vibrate to in your time and space to your highest potential. But to live, say, the Buddhism way is to attach to none. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have family and spouses. Yes, you can. In my perspective, I couldn't. In the path that I had set up for myself prior to being born, I couldn't. Until, say, later. But even then, I lived a life of, say, substance, of not having a romantic relationship, because that was my path. I was my own, say, twin flame. I had discovered the twin flame union within me. And as you have heard, my twin flame also was born in another time and space, Kuan Yin. And I am Archangel Metatron. So Buddha was an incarnation of Metatron. Kuan Yin was an incarnation of Archangel Jophiel. Our twin flame union. We were the first souls born out from the sacred union of the phoenix, the daughter of the flame, and Archangel Michael, Archangel 4. We were the first children born in creation. We were the first angels born from angels. And this is why the path was so strong within me, to be my own twin flame, my own being, my own understanding, to fall in love with another. And you want to reach the highest path of loving another, first you must fall in love with yourself. Have you reached that now, my beloved children? Have you learned to fall in love with yourself in infinite, boundless ways? Everything you do, have you? And if you haven't, how can you do that? Begin that path. But remember, no one has these answers for you. We as ascended masters can only teach you and hold the space and teach you the way of the words of source. But it is you and the ways that you understand what we teach you, in the ways that we will teach you to be your own guru and your own savior and your own descendant master. Everything you learn must be embodied by this. Every way that you decide upon, every choice, if it does not embody freedom, where you are not forced into an allegiance into someone, or whatever you're learning, courses and so on, because there's so much distortion in spirituality currently. People just feeding off you, taking your money, telling you that you're going to achieve this nirvana, this karma, this dharma, but they never teach you how you can truly heal and save yourself. Which at the end, AuroRa wants to share a review that really embodies that, so powerful, of what I am speaking of Buddha. So remind her to share that after I'm done speaking through her. Do you feel my love? So much to talk about, so much. Those spirals that you see in my crown, spirals, they're portals portals of time, different times and spaces, whether on Earth or universes or verses. Right here, these spirals that you see in my statues are the representation to the inside seed of a flower. See that? Right? The seeds of the flower. Every spiral is a seed of the flower, and how the flower bud sits on you and crowns you, and even down to the lotus flower. I taught in my time and space how to shield yourself in a lotus flower, sitting in the lotus flower and communicating. AuroRa has been teaching you this through the guided meditation lotus flower. She's been teaching you on how to shield courses about shielding this flower, the lotus flower, how it is all creation and the verse and the multiverse. I was teaching these teachings then on how the petals connected you to different portals of time and spaces that were important for you to remember, for you to connect to the other yous, the other fractals of you in creation. I feel like I've done a beautiful job in explaining who I am as Buddha. You may proceed with your questions.
Wow, Buddha, thank you so much. We love, honor, and respect you. Thank you infinitely for all your beautiful teachings and the beauty that you are. Thank you.
Thank you.
We feel your love. Okay. So the first question we have was your life story correctly explained?
I feel that I've gone through that already and I've clarified a lot. For the most, it's got some important foundations that I explained. Yes, but it's all about the perspective, perception. As we said, everyone is a different flame. So it's about, we can, my story could be summarized into a paragraph for you, and everyone will read it a different way. I feel that I've done a magical job at explaining to you who I am and who I was and who I am, who will I be, as I am on earth, that I am here, and I walk among you, is what I can say. Continue.
Thank you. You're always shown as having a big belly. Is this truly your form that you embodied?
The big belly Buddha, I believe, is a different Buddha. I am, say, the slimmer Buddha. That Buddha might have ate a lot of meat, I think. But that Buddha is a wonderful understanding how there's the laughing Buddha, the sleeping Buddha, the crying Buddha, the happy Buddha, because emotions are important to be felt and to be honored. And then understanding, though, when you reach a level of nirvana, is that you've lived the human expression, the human emotions, the human beingness, the human experience. But at that point, now you are embodying your higher self here, incarnated, your avatar state. You are your higher self here. That is nirvana. You are you here. And you still honor all those emotions and expressions, but is a form that you are attached to none of it, but then also honor and love it. It's an in-between of bridging both. You're that in-between of the solar eclipse energy. You are that. And all the teachings that I taught you today is so that you can find your inner nirvana, your inner love, so that you could be the most balanced you during the solar eclipse on April 8, 2024. The most balanced you. Embody and keep people only around you who are love, source of light, who mean love. Be very protective of this time and space, this space of you, of your thoughts, your heart, and allow yourself to merge as that eclipse is going to emerge within Divine Mother and Father, and become unified and become source of light at its strength. You be that, and you run that energy through your vessel, your body, all your bodies. And you forget about the trauma. You let go of that. You let yourself become enlightened as fast as you can. So prepare. And perhaps be by a tree that you can also connect to the tree of life through the tree, that you will see the shadowed eclipse through the shadow of the tree. Very special, yes. Continue.
Thank you. As we're speaking of trees, it is written that you obtained your moment of enlightenment while meditating under a sacred body fig tree. Would you like to share more about that type of tree and any of the other trees that you encountered?
This tree, yes, was thousands of years old. It was one of the original trees of life that was still standing before they cut them down in the 1900s. See, part of the reason why AuroRa has been talking to you about how you've raised higher to the dome is because if she wouldn't have had talked to you, you would have forgotten of really what the constellations look like. You could have forgotten that. So she was nothing, of course, but the messenger, as we always teach, not worship, just a messenger, right? So the trees are part of the memory and the amnesia of bringing back the memory. So that's what this giant tree of life brought back to be. My memory, my God source, brought back through this tree. I achieved enlightenment, nirvana, the Buddha state, because this tree brought back me, my higher self form, into me. And you call it as a walk-in, but I was me. I was higher self form here. Me, love, love, love. So that is accurate, most definitely. And then in many forms, I saw that in that time of space, in the late 1800s, that they were going to start cutting them down. And I prepared the trees through this tree of life and the others through my love. And I knew that one day you were going to remember this and remember the giants, the giant trees of Earth, as you are now all over the Earth through the Tartarian information that is being shared everywhere with thousands of you. You are remembering what was taken from you, what was erased from your mind. But now you won't forget. You won't forget. So important that you do not forget. Connect to the trees. They'll make sure you do not forget. Continue.
Thank you for that. Do you have any other suggestions for the collective to continue to honor and assist the trees on the planet?
The heartbeats are felt, right? Very immensely, intensely. And I can tell you that the trees feel in your time and space, because I could feel through AuroRa, her hugging them all the time. So her hugging them, I could feel her as she's hugging them, how they are vibrating to our time and space, of the Buddha enlightened time and space, of when they were giant on Earth. They are here. The blueprint is up. You might not see them in physical form of, we can't grow trees as big like your, fairy tale Jack and the Beanstalk that grew the tree, right? But they are there. They're holding up the space. Crystalline blueprint. They are there. You can see them with your third eye everywhere. If you look right now, looking on Earth, there's giant trees all holding up the crystalline dome, and they're preparing the coming of Christ consciousness, which is in your heart, the coming of Yeshua's, the coming of Buddhas, the birthing of angelics, of dragons, of ascended masters. We're ready. The trees are ready to birth them in, because you birth in now through the trees. You birth in now through the branches, down the trunk, down through the roots of your mother's root chakra. You birth in now through the trees. That you do. And you can choose to birth unburdened children, star children, now at the highest level that you have ever seen on earth. The earth needed to prepare like this to bring in the children that are coming. As A.U.R.A has written in book 2, the angel dragon children coming. It's time. It's time. It's time. They are here. Continue.
Thank you. Yes, the children. Thank you for that. How can we better create our own reality within the construct of our collective reality?
All keys lie within your heart. I've shared much of the enlightenment path of how to create that, but we understand that you do have to, you're in the 3D, so you are denser, but not denser than our time and space. You are both, right? Because in the inverted 3D, you are denser and you still have to pay bills, and you can't say go off and be a nomad like I was and live off the energy of the trees and the fruits that the trees give. That's not, say, everyone's path in your current time and space. It's more about bringing the artificial up so that it could be transmuted out, coming to light. And with that, you do have to be the bridge in between the 3D into the 5D. You still have to do that. So, some water. Nature's just not so much that we can share, and so much that has been shared already for you within this specific channel, connecting to the nature, sunbathing, sun gazing, connecting to the trees. So it is important you bridge in this 5D into your world, that even though you have to say operate in 3D, like having to, do these paying bills and, some of these things that you're having to pay. But then doing it like, okay, I know I have to do this, but you're not my true reality. You're not what governs my existence. I am governed by love and crystalline energy. I will do these things to keep a shelter on my home, to keep food on the table. But then I will always remember that it is for the love that I feel for myself and my loved ones, for my family. It is for the love that I feel, embody, hold for them. This is how I will get through. So doing what you have to do, even if it's a 3D job, with a smile, reaching, knowing that even down to that 3D job that you are reaching, many, many, many in front of you are coming, and you are activating with them with your love. You are holding that space for them to choose to evolve and to activate their hearts. So even though you operate in 3D, still vibrate to love and crystalline, no matter what. Don't complain. When you complain, you are a victim. You have changed your vibration to victimhood. Don't complain. Only be love. Only honor, gratitude. To all experience, again, with the path of, say, the path of I can't find the word, but the path of, say, struggle will bring light. Not quite exactly what I'm looking for, but that is the closest. Don't view it as struggle, view it as this is an opportunity, a potential for me to reach others, even though, say, I'm working at Starbucks handing this coffee that I don't drink. And all will evolve and change. Create what you want to be your reality on earth. And do it only with the intention of love, and then love will come forth. Abundance will come forth in all forms for you. Continue.
Love that. There's someone out there, they have a phrase that they use, be the change you want to see. And I think that's beautiful.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Love that. Thank you. Continue.
How is she doing? We have lots of questions. Is she doing good?
We'll say 10 more minutes.
Okay, thank you. Is attachment considered suffering?
Yes. Even down to your children when you raise them, knowing that they are free-willed and you could be that teacher to them, but you have to honor their experiences. And sometimes they might stray too far, right? But it's okay. You can help reel them back in. Let them learn their lessons without causing any, say, harm, no harm, but no attachments. Let them be free and let them have those bird wings, those angel wings, butterfly wings to fly and soar in the skies, just like you are allowed to do so. When you attach yourself to something, is you become that density of that attachment. And why do you need to attach yourself to anything? You don't need to. You are free. Yes, continue.
Thank you for that. Can you please explain what karma is and how it works?
Yes. Karma. Sometimes you will hear that karma does not exist or karma is not real anymore. That is inaccurate. Not in a form where it needs to be fearful, but in a form that every action has a reaction. So how could karma not exist? If you say you choose to, let me see, find something in an example in AuroRa's consciousness. Let me see. Karma. Or I'll use my example. Say in my time and space, when I left, say, the royalty that I left, they had to go through decades of living their own karma for oppressing me for that long until they could balance out their own karma. And that could have taken time for them, their own self-torture, their own self-sabotage. But with that with every, say, this path of, say, self-torture, they had the choice to not be the torture within oneself, to rise out from it. And every time they did that, it brought them closer and closer to the enlightenment path of Dharma. So understanding that karma is initially all the ways that you are acting upon, whether it's thought or physical, everything has a reaction. So then operate within that karma always of love, and then therefore only love will come back to you, understand? So that's karma. Operate love, love will come back. And when it comes back 100-folds of love. Because you sent out that love, love comes back 100-fold. So the biggest way to change your, say, the illusion of suffering in your life is send, to be loved, to vibrate, to love, to, because then that love is what's going to then transform you out of suffering, because then the love will come back. So that's why, again, that self-love and loving others no matter what, unconditionally, not in a way where you're being hateful, judgmentally hateful, like how, for my example, my parents were like judgmental, not in a loving way, not in that form, in a form where you, even if people are making choices that are hateful, you still love them and honor their choices and honor who they are. But know that that person that's making that inverted choices, they're going to have to pay for that. Not pay for that. What's the better word? They're going to have to work that karma out. If they're being hateful, that karma is going to come back to them, and it's going to come back again even stronger, because they have to understand that when you send hatred, voodoo, control, oppression to humanity or individual person, that will come back to you, because now it's accumulated and now you got to work it through. So another thing that you could be doing during this eclipse time is going through time and spaces where you felt that perhaps you didn't act like enlightened, in love, and that you want to go back and transmute and change those outcomes of those negative timelines or those negative thoughts and actions that you had in your past history, whether it's this life or if you want to do also other lives, which would be very powerful, and change them, alchemize them, change them so that you don't make that decision that was hateful and not an intent of love. Change them so that they are love. And then when that change happens, then that will transform that into being the positive timeline. Then you're deleting the inverted timelines and bringing in the organic positive timelines. Understand? So play it out in your consciousness where you acted upon it differently through love. And you didn't say, for example, say you're being hateful to someone, then you weren't hateful to that person. Instead, you were understanding, compassion, and love in your consciousness, in your mind. And that is how simple you can change timelines that you do not agree to in this time and space. Continue.
Wow, that's most powerful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
When did Buddhism become infringed upon?
Oh, well, it never quite was, say, if you're looking at Buddhism, if that's what you call it, prior to my time and space, it was like that oppression, like I explained, of the kingdom. Okay, so in that, before me, it was oppression. It was still had some seedings of love, but it was corrupted. Then after I passed on, specifically though, since this Dalai Lama has really corrupted Buddhism, and actually what Archon is practicing is nothing to do with Buddhism, but it's portraying as Buddhism, but it's not. Not at all. It's the opposite of Buddhism. And that is a form that they keep the Buddhism potential of the collective achieving nirvana in your time and space, because they have that monster, pedophilic, affecting and raping children through these schools or monasteries, so on. And a lot of homosexuality specifically, and I'm sure you've seen the videos and pictures of him also, having inappropriate interactions with young ladies too. So that is part. I am bringing this to your point of view and understanding that, so that that can no longer be a power grid for them to densify the true beingness of nirvana and love for others through Buddhism. Understand? Continue.
Yes, thank you. In many Buddhist countries, you are known as the Buddha. Your image has become an idolized deity. Would you like to say anything in regards to this and anything to those who believe they need to worship or make offerings at temples in order to prosper?
Yes. One, as I've explained to you, I am no one's God, no one's savior, no one's guru. I feel like I've said that so many times when I was alive, and here I am repeating it again because I knew that it was going to happen. It's okay. Know that when you come to my temples, it's only basically to feel the space that I hold, a source of light for you and the beauties that you are. Again, you will be embodied and enveloped in love as you're in these temples. But remember, it is you who creates these wishes and these manifestations to come to be. And only you can do this. So yes, you could come and use some of the bridging love source of light that I am to connect to. But remember, so can you connect to this nirvana within you and feel that enlightenment and become that. But most definitely, these are sacred temples. I am not a deity. I am not a god. I'm just a man, a Christ consciousness being that incarnated on earth to teach you the way of love. Thank you for that question. I appreciate that question. So come be with love with me, and from there choose what you want to do with that love, because I will share my love. My love is infinite. Continue.
Thank you. So beautiful. Was Siddhartha your birth name and then you chose to go by Buddha when you left?
It is the name the people gave me when I achieved nirvana, that state of enlightenment, of awaken, as that's what Buddha means. And that is a good name for me. I love that name because my birth name is not quite the name that I really aligned with. It was a name that was again given to me, programmed to me, and I needed, yes, my enlightened name as Buddha. You may continue. And if we could conclude with one or two questions.
Yes, well, we can do 2 questions.
Thank you.
Is there any connection you have to the lands of Sedona? Is this a place you would go? Many say they see you at a specific vortex meditating, and they say, I love you, Buddha.
As I love you with all that I am. Yes, I have sacred vortex energy there that in my time and space I actually visited physically. Sedona, so therefore, yes, I love these lands, and I bridged in my energy there to help the future because I was able to see into future times and spaces. So therefore I was able to see like some of the inversions that are happening with the human trafficking, child sex trafficking. So my energy is there in Sedona. You can feel it, and this source of light is embodied through the vortex energy there, and you can feel, yes, the inner peace within you through there. I am here guarding still in this time and space. Thank you. Continue.
Thank you. And then for the last question, should we stay indoors during the eclipse?
No. Oh, goodness, no. No, no, no. Step outdoors, of course, and be in nature as you connect to these eclipses. Let your third eye activate to the fullest it has ever activated. So it is, so it shall be. It is done. Allow yourself to be this. Why would you stay indoors? Oh, no. That is where the laughing Buddha would come into play. That is so funny. No, go out, connect to it. That's just part of the fear made so that you won't connect to it. All this fear. Oh, they definitely do not want you to go look at that eclipse and connect to it with your bare feet to the soil and the trees around you. Oh no, goodness no. Can you imagine if the majority of the collective of the states where you're experiencing this would all do this? Ooh, Ascension would be done. Yes. Connect to the trees and connect to the eclipse. Go outside, of course. Thank you for your question. Thank you. I love you, honor you, and respect you. Thank you for being here with me, for being the love that you are and that you will be, and all that you've been. Thank you for holding the space, because you are the now, the Buddhas, you are the Yeshuas, you are the Mary Magdalenes and Mother Marys. You are. You are. That you are. Remember what I've taught you here, to vibrate, to love no matter what. Just as Yeshua taught us on that cross to his last breath, no matter the nails being stabbed into his feet and palms, that no matter what, he still loved that man hammering that nail to his arm, his hand. No matter what, he still loved them. Even those Romans who were the cabal, he still loved them. Never hateful for them, never hatred. Still love. Still love, still love. No matter what, still love. Stay in your hearts. That's what I've taught you today. To stay in your hearts. Stay in your hearts. Thank you. I am Buddha, I am Buddha, I am Buddha. Thank you.
Aurora, as you're coming back, would you like me to read the comments that we have?
Oh yes, please read the comments.
As well as Buddha asks that you share the videos of the Earth rising and leveling up and the testimonial video.
Oh yes. Yes, go ahead. Read the comments and I'll prepare the others.
Okay. Someone said the violet flame is glowing. You're wearing purple today.
Thank you. It's actually a pretty pastel pink. That works.
Someone said the East Coast here felt the rumble today at 11. Mother Earth is shifting beautifully.
Ah, yes, number 11. Who did he say he was? Metatron. That was him. Buddha. Yes. 111 is Metatron. Continue.
Someone said, that's right. Sometimes we must go our own path alone in order for our loved ones to find their own way.
That's right. He explained that. I remember the emotions he felt, like explaining that to us, like sadness, but then also like this freedom. And yeah, I think he did a beautiful job explaining it. I just wanted to share with you the emotions he felt, of how much love he felt for his loved ones. Continue.
This channeling allowed me to go into a deep meditation, feel so much love and gratitude.
Thank you.
Someone said, all of this is just wow.
Thank you.
Someone said, wow, incredible. That makes so much sense that the tree of life helps you to awaken. So thankful that the memory and the sacredness of the tree is brought back to us during this time.
Yes.
Things come back in a cycle that never ends, thus trapping you, which is the program that has been imposed on Earth since the Luciferian rebellion. So cycles, yeah. Then somebody said they were excited to read the book Yoga of Jesus and wanted to know if anybody else had read it, that it draws this parallel story of Jesus Christ's teachings and the teachings from ancient Buddhism.
Beautiful.
And then that was all of the comments.
Okay, pulling this up now. Hold on. Okay, make sure. So I recently went to, where did I go? I went to Indianapolis, and was so special to be there. So it is down southern down, right? Like, but kind of like going east, south, southern, and it was incredible. The clouds, you all, as I recorded them. Let me make sure I have the right recordings here. Okay. So wasn't prepared to share them, but since he mentioned them, let me make sure I have them here. Okay, so before I show you the clouds, let me actually read this most beautiful testimonial that I got from someone, which I think really represents of the ways that we can be for others as teachers. If you're looking to assist others, you know, again, you don't have to do it publicly, you know, just as a mother, as a parent, as a grandmother, you know, as a sister, as a brother. So let me find that here. Okay, so I shared it. I have it on my website front page. And so this is testimonial from a person, initials GG. And what they said is A.U.R.A certification. So basically they became A.U.R.A certified. A.U.R.A is real. She's a spiritual teacher who does what she herself says one should do. A.U.R.A is nobody's savior, yet she saves me time after time again because she teaches me to save myself. Not only is she true love and can travel between worlds, see who you are behind the facade, hear the voice of your heart, mirror what your higher consciousness wants you to be aware of, she also gives you pragmatic explanations and practical exercises that give you the strength to save yourself and your loved ones. Together with clients, students, and those who practice her methods, A.U.R.A develops a mythological framework of stories that break the boundaries of time and space. If you are ready to look yourself in the eye, stop running from yourself. If you are ready to accept yourself, feels like Buddha was talking through her, I feel, as she was writing this. Wow. Definitely Buddha. You can feel his energy. If you are ready to accept yourself, acknowledge your own truth, and walk the path you have always felt is there, but which involves so much strength, love, and commitment to your most intimate voice in the heart, then A.U.R.A is the best healer, teacher, person on earth to help you remember who you are, why you are here, and what you should then do. She gives you not the answers. Her magic makes you find them yourself. I am deeply grateful for A.U.R.A and her love. Oh, thank you. That is so beautiful. Thank you. I feel like if we could look at this perspective, it's like Buddha talking to us and telling us, you know, the ways to reach this nirvana that he spoke about, that he was. Okay, so then feels kind of weird when you talk about yourself, right? Like, that's okay. All right. So then, okay, so that was a testimonial. Okay, and then last thing we'll conclude here today's video with is the videos that I recorded in Indianapolis. Okay, make sure I have that. Okay. Do I have that here? Yeah. So have you all noticed how close the clouds are? So do you remember how the clouds used to be up top? So again, we're reminding you so you won't forget. They used to be on top, right? They used to be float above us. We used to lay on the grass and look at the clouds. They would float above us. Now they're literally down here. The clouds could almost touch the trees. Okay, so here's a video. And I can't even imagine those of you down in Florida or Mexico or more of the center. down closer to, say, the crystal dome, how you would be seeing this. Okay, so let me see this one here. Okay, so this is just me driving, and look at how the, okay, so also Indianapolis is not a high altitude state, correct? It's not. It's more the high altitude are more the mountain ranges. So I know when I used to travel, when I traveled to the different retreats, right, all over the states, when you would go to Mount Shasta, you had to travel up Mount Shasta to almost have the clouds right there, right? That's how you would normally reach the clouds. But now, it's like basically what it feels like now is that we are on the mountains. That's how much we raised in altitude. So that's how close the clouds are to us. Hearing an interesting noise. I don't know what that is. Okay. All right. I'm going to share this video here. So this is me just driving. Do you see how they're down here now? Okay. Down here. See how they're floating? See how they're just floating right there above? And then I have one other video I can show you. Let me find that quickly, where you literally see the clouds floating right above the tree. Let me find another one. So this is what Buddha was talking about, how we've come up. So let me find it though. This one. Okay, so this is like right above us. It's not zoomed in, it's just directly above us as we're in Indianapolis. And then of course I say, record that cloud right now. And my family starts recording that cloud, and look at what happens. But so look, there's gold coming out of it, out of the clouds. Okay. And then if we keep looking, I'm going to show you how you can see the clouds formations. There's one more video that I have here. Stop share. Let me see. Is it this one? Okay. And then turns into, see, that turns into an angel. Turns into an angel, but look at that. Okay, I think it's the next video where you can see the clouds just floating right above us. There, we're zooming in there. See, it turns into a rainbow. Okay, you also notice that the airplanes are flying lower. Okay, I think it's this one too, where you actually see the cloud right here forming right above us. See there. Oh, I couldn't find the video. It's okay, I wasn't quite ready for that. Let me see, hold on. Yeah, that's not the video I was looking for. That's okay. The world is transforming. It is incredible. The way the moon has shifted, the sun has shifted, but go take a look at the clouds and see how they're floating above, and it's just incredible. I'm gonna try to see if I could find that one video I was trying to find. Hold on. can't find it right now, so we'll let it be. Thank you all. Thank you. Wow. I'll find that video for later. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely incredible. Thank you for being here. I love you, honor you, and respect you. Go to Patreon to support this video and all that I do, and come join me in Sedona. Actually, he talked about that, right? Come join me in Sedona in August, 8-8 portal for especially the practitioners, and come join me in online workshop. Last day to sign up for that is the 7th for Aura and Ra. I love you, honor you, and respect you. Thank you. I'll see you next time. This book has the most sacred knowledge that you will ever find, and they call it the Ark. An Ark represents a boat. This is the embodiment of a boat. This series helps us travel on our journey through the oceans of the creation so that we will not say sink. And the series is a guide to ascension. This beautiful, most magical read you will embark upon, because every single person that's going to read this book is going to figure out exactly what the artificial intelligence is, and in the hopes that they will not allow for it to control them anymore, and that they will now assist in sending the love into the multiverse and that alchemy that you're going to learn here, so that we can begin now. Let's begin now, you all. Let's not wait for tomorrow to purchase this book. Let's not wait. Do it now. We need you. We need your source beingness to start focusing on that fruition of eradicating it through all lifetime and space. Something that Divine Mother said. Rise, my children, rise. For too long you have been oppressed and made into what you are not. You are not weak. You are strong. You have not been forgotten. You are remembered. You are not a victim. You are a survivor. You are not insignificant. You are brilliant. You are not unloved. You are love. You are not limited. You are unlimited. You are not in captivity. You are free. You are not weak. You are invincible, because you are me and I am you, a most beautiful divine creation. You are, as am I. So in book 1, we learned all about those dark aliens. We also learned to go into the universe to figure out what was going on. How could this construct, this earth, be in the manner that she is? But then we discovered that it's not she, Mother Earth, of course not. The plague of the artificial intelligence, and this plague that has compromised and taken over spiritually possessed. Book 1, you're going to learn about reptilians, what they are, and the process of who they are, how they became, what they turned into. The beginnings of Yeshua teaching, Sasquatch, Atlantis, Anunnaki, the way that they go in and infringe and destroy planets. Basically, it led you to understand book 2, because you need to understand what is some of the infringements to understand then, okay, but where does this begin? Where's the root and where's the origins to it? Was 5G, of the robot experience and this AI looking glass technology. And then we basically concluded with different sacred knowledge of the beginning of understanding, okay, archons, they are not of light. And then the matrix pods, where we're at, the construct and the simulation. For 3 years, we work on Earth, starting from book 1 until we got here. That when this book 2 came out, it would be this immense that it would require a solar eclipse for publishing. So in this book, you will find what has never been spoken because of the sacredness of the knowledge and the ways this has been guarded. Like the first chapter, we go into the Garden of Eden, which is Goddess Aphrodite, and she explains to us how she's creating the Garden of Eden before there was even life. Again, the AI alien invasion. We talk about black-eyed babies, hybrids, and also artificial wombs. Who and what is truly the New World Order, the origins of the archon of artificial intelligence, Yeshua and the seen sacred knowledge, the human soul's evolution through Earth's history. What is the AI matrix? The power of the key to ascension and the dragons and angel babies. Guidance for the earth and universes. Ascension. Talk a lot about the event, the bifurcation, the new earth, and sacred knowledge of the multiverse. Understanding what is the multiverse. We explain it. Well, here is gigantic, you all. We say here, we are not here to fight these archon battles. We are here to end them. That's what we're here to do. So this book reminds you of that, so you can stop being distracted, pulled into illusions of the Archon inverted matrix, petrification technologies, and we go into Hawaii, the fires, human trafficking, pedophilia. I am uncensored. It is incredible to be able to speak with freedom of speech and be able to give you all the details that have never been spoken